Washington, this is VOA News. I'm Ray Kouguell reporting. Iran and 6 other nations have agreed to a framework deal involving Iran's nuclear program. European Union Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherini said Thursday inspectors will have access to Iranian facilities.
The International Atomic Energy Agency will be permitted the use of modern technologies and will have enhanced access through agreed procedures, including to clarify past and present issues.
EU Foreign Policy Chief Federica Mogherini says the decision will lay the basis for Iran and the group that includes the U.S., Britain, China, France, Russia, and Germany to reach a final agreement by a June 30th deadline. In Washington, President Barack Obama said the agreement, if fully implemented, will block every pathway that Iran can take to build a nuclear weapon.
And it is a good deal, a deal that meets our core objectives.
Under the deal, Iran would cut its uranium enrichment program in exchange for relief from sanctions that have destroyed its economy. Critics of the negotiations, especially Israel, say the U.S. and its partners would be giving Iran too many concessions. Gunmen armed with rocket-propelled grenades attacked several military checkpoints in Egypt's northern Sinai Thursday, killing at least 15 soldiers and 2 civilians. Dozens of others were wounded. There's been no claim of responsibility. Yemeni officials say Shiite Houthi rebels and their allies fought their way through the center of Aden Thursday, seizing the presidential palace in the key southern port city. The capture of Aden, the last remaining stronghold of those backing Yemen's president, would mark a setback for the Saudi-led coalition, which has been carrying out airstrikes for more than a week across Yemen. Earlier, al-Qaeda militants stormed a prison in southern Yemen, freeing 300 inmates. This is VOA News. The Somali militant group al-Shabaab claimed responsibility for an attack on a university in northeastern Kenya that killed 147 people. Gabe Joslow reports.
The Somali militant group al-Shabaab claimed responsibility for the attack, which began shortly before dawn at Garissa University College. Security officials say gunmen stormed the campus, killing 2 guards before taking over a section of the residence halls and holding some students hostage. Kenyan military forces battled the militants for most of the day. Kenyan authorities said 4 of the assailants were killed and 1 arrested during operations. Kenyan authorities have named alleged al-Shabaab commander Mohammed Mohamud as the mastermind of the attack. Gabe Joslow, Nairobi.
Iraqi explosives experts dismantled roadside bombs and other explosive devices Thursday in Tikrit, a day after Iraq declared victory over Islamic State militants in that strategic city. German prosecutors say that the co-pilot suspected of deliberately flying a Germanwings jet into the French Alps, killing all 150 people on board, searched online for information on suicide and cockpit door security in the days just before the crash. Prosecutors say they found the information on a computer tablet in the Dusseldorf, Germany apartment of 27-year-old Andreas Lubitz. Searchers, meanwhile, at the crash site have recovered the second black box, the flight data recorder, which could hold crucial technical information from almost every instrument on the plane. 2 New York City women have been arrested for allegedly trying to build a homemade bomb to launch a terrorist attack in the United States. A federal criminal complaint made public Thursday says they were arrested on charges of conspiracy to use weapons of mass destruction. Prosecutors say undercover investigators determined the women were plotting to attack police, government, or military targets based on their violent jihadist beliefs. Authorities say the public was never in danger. At least 56 people are dead after a Russian trawler sank in the Sea of Okhotsk in Russia's Far East Wednesday. Emergency officials say 63 of 132 of the crew members on board the ship were rescued after the boat sank in icy waters near Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula. 13 people are still missing. Officials say the ship sank in about 15 minutes and did not send a distress signal. The cause of the accident is still unknown. Indonesia says it is ready to hold celebrations for the 60th anniversary of the Asia-Africa Summit. Delegations from dozens of countries will be traveling to Jakarta this month for the event. Pakistan's recently established military courts have sentenced what the Army calls 6 hardcore terrorists to death for committing terrorist acts. An Army statement says the men were involved in heinous offenses, including manslaughter, suicide bombing, and abduction for ransom. While announcing the first set of convictions, the Army said a 7th man was sentenced to life imprisonment. I'm Ray Kouguell in Washington.
That's the latest world news from VOA.